Hey guys, it's Rollcubs and boy do I have one for you today. Diablo 4 Server Slam is just finished and I managed to play for the entire Server Slam barring a 2-hour nap. I got every class to max and managed to get 7 of my main for launch. Now I tried a multitude of builds and I think I've put together a tier list for you all to follow. It is worth saying this is my opinion, if yours differs that's okay, and this is going to be a simple tier list with simple reasoning for people who maybe didn't get to play the beta too much. If you want a more detailed guide, leave a comment and let me know. Now I'm currently writing guides for optimal leveling, builds, playability, all for the game's release in 2 weeks time, and if you do like the content or if you remember from the Diablo 3 season release content, don't hesitate to like and subscribe as it really helps out the channel. But let's get into it. To start things off, we have some great news. There is no unplayable class, on release at least. We do have some unplayable builds, but all the classes are at least partly viable. We're going to start in the 5th place. For the C tier is the Barbarian. I do know this is going to trigger some people, however unfortunately it isn't an amazing place right now. The Thorns build is massively undertuned, the Whirlwind build does not do enough damage and relies on aspects, and that leaves us with the Upheaval build. Now one thing is I actually got to level 70 as a barb during the initial alpha, it was my second highest. And when you get Upheaval, the unique massively changes the scaling, giving you up to 4 levels on your Upheaval. We'll have to wait and see what happens, but for now for release, the barb is coming in at 5th. At 4th, we actually have the Druid. Now this doesn't mean the Druid is bad, but it is uncomfortable. The Storm build actually has a lot of potential. Its damage is honestly second to none at times, but it's massively RNG dependent. The difference between a good boss fight and a bad boss fight is looking at minutes, not seconds, minutes. The Werebear is so much fun, but the downtime is unreliable at best and can cause a lot of issues. Hopefully with some aspects and some tuning, the Druid can really pop off, as it was actually one of my favourite classes in Diablo 2, but for now, as I said, it's sitting quite uncomfortably in B tier. Coming in 3rd will be a shock to most people. It's actually the Rogue. Now, most people have seen how broken the build can be, with Wujio soloing the world boss at level 20 on hardcore. However, it has some major flaws. The first one is that the skill ceiling is unrivaled. If you're new to Diablo or not familiar with the playstyle, then you are going to have a hard time. The amount of people that are going to pick up the game, watch a streamer like Wujio absolutely take off and do amazing, and then die is uncanny. It's going to happen because survivability isn't the best. Death will come quickly if you're not paying attention, and even with the ability to play both melee and ranged, even played well, it sits comfortably at about A tier. Next is our second A tier class, the Necro, popping in at number 2. This class would be S tier, and it's nothing to sneeze at if it wasn't for the overpowered monstrosity that we have in 1st. This is personally my least played class, but even the bit I saw, it has so much potential. They would potentially have stayed in S tier or will be labelled the top solo build, even after the post-pet nerf. Once you unlock some of your key aspects, your Necro will be almost unstoppable. It has insane survivability and if played correctly, is just unreal. You've just got to manage those pets, and if that isn't your type to play, then maybe Necro isn't for you. Now for what you've all been waiting for, the S+++ class in the Sorcerer. I'll explain why the Sorcerer is amazing very shortly, but first, the best part is the most overpowered build of the Sorcerer has not been changed. I'm going to be doing an in-depth guide for the Sorcerer later this week, so if you do like what you see, don't hesitate to like and subscribe, and you will see why the Frost Sorcerer, for a sneak peek, is unrivaled. I hit level 92 in Alpha as Sorcerer, and I can confirm that it is and will be the strongest class on release, with the ability to screen clear elites on World Tier 4 and survivability that's unmatched. The only downfall is the single target for bosses. Never guess what? 2 quick skill swaps and that can be made up for. The synergy between abilities, between cheat death, barriers for days, potentially even 2 teleports. It's the perfect beginner class, and if built correctly, the build almost plays itself. But that's where we are, guys. A basic rundown for the classes until the release. Leave a comment where your class came, and leave any feedback that you have. But until next time, Cubs, peace.